I'm the computer man. I'm the Macintosh man with the virus scan. Moving your files all across the land. Some Photoshop filters in After Dark. Get your Microsoft Office, express your quark. Millions of colors with a VRAM chip. How about a system crash that'll make you flip? I'm the computer man. I'm saying Windows 95 is plug and pray. If it's fonts you want, you gotta go to Macway. Log right on as my personal guest. You'll have Macintosh software on your desk. Send me an email with your request. If it's hardware you want, baby, I'm the best. I'm the computer.
Good evening, K-School listeners. Good evening, Santa Cruz, Central Coast, Monterey, and beyond. My name is Luigi Opito, owner-operator of Pleasure Point Computers right by the beach here in beautiful Santa Cruz, California. And for the next hour, I am your tour guide into a world of wonder, magic, information, and... so much frustration. That's right, we're talking about the internet and the world of computing. I am your computer man. Welcome, one of the most helpful, friendly tech counters you've ever visited. And of course, I'd like to welcome you to your local radio station, your local KSQD Santa Cruz, KSQ Team Prunedale, 89.5, 89.7, and 90.7 FM, and always online at ksqd.org, where you can listen live anywhere the internet reaches, anywhere in the world, and in some parts of space. That's right. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday night. Stoked to be here with you, as always. I have, I always say, I got this packet. The news stories that are coming out, all these crazy things about different spywares and Intel crashing and artificial intelligence and Disney and also we got tons of stuff to talk about. So we're going to get to as much of it as we can in the next hour, as well as some online questions and some email questions coming in from our amazing listeners out there. And you can also join into the show because this is a live show, but most importantly, yours at 831-900-5773. That's 831-900-KSQD. But first, of course, if you say to yourself, why is this guy talking so quick? I don't know. I'm not sure I've always just talked this quick. I have a lot of thoughts that just come out. But have I been trying to slow down? No, not really. So if you get stuck, if you say, wow, I didn't catch any of those steps, what do? Well, jump online to that amazing internet box of yours and go to ksqd.org. Click on our listening tab, and there's a 2-week audio archive underneath that listening tab where you can click on that and listen to any of our old shows here at the Computer Man Show, or even the super important talk of the day like we're having right now in this incredible season. We got Chris out there, just so important, and I'm stoked to be here and to be a part of any of this. This is so cool. If you'd like to reach out to me after the show, you can always email me, Luigi, Luigi, at ksqd.org. Of course, while you're on the ksqd.org website, most importantly, there is that donate button. Yeah, it's not a pledge drive right now or anything, but we need things coming in and make sure that we can still be here. That's the way that we're here. We're not beholden to anybody else, which is so cool. I know I say it every show, but it's important because I want to make sure I can come in and talk to you, all of you, and I can't do that without you. So jump online to ksqd.org, hit that donate button. If you haven't done it yet, we highly recommend you do it. We love you for it, and I love you for it. So thank you so much. Love you. And let's get to the show here. Of course, we have the on air at ksqd.org, which we're going to fire up right now. That's our email that's coming in live right here to my desk. So if you have a question, comment, concern, you'd like to hear about something, to talk about something, and maybe you can't get to a phone, no problem. On air at ksqd.org, and I'll check it out right here, and I'll see you going. It'd be super cool. Stoked to hear from you. While we're on that subject, also we have the 831-900-5773. We do something. We have the texting thing up tonight, but that's okay. You can give me a call, 900-5773, or on air at ksqd.org. And I'm stoked to hear from you and love to hear from you tonight. What is this Computer Man Show? What is this show you've stumbled across? Well, we are all about updates, new devices, testimonials, scams, and most importantly, you, our call-ins. What's going on with your computer? What's going on with your machine? Let's talk about it. We're here every Tuesday night from 6 to 7 p.m., and our phone number, 900-5773. Of course, on air at ksqd.org as well. Okay, so we always start the show off with scams, as I say, because I hate them. And right now, there's a couple scams, a couple pieces of malware, a couple things that are going on right now that I want to talk about, just touch on real quick. To get myself organized here, iPhone stuff, patching, Google. Oh my gosh, all this stuff is kind of scammy when you really talk about it. But if we're talking about real scams, I would like to start off with the ones that are actually screwing with people. And that one could be routers from China-based TP-Link. There's a national security thing that's going on right now. Evidently, there was a firmware piece that came out that has been problematic. And TP-Link, if you know anything about the company, they have multiple offices. Evidently, they have one that actually is for the United States. It's down in Irvine. And they have one for China, and they have one I think for like the Middle East or something like that. But TP-Link from China, those routers evidently have some source code in them that are bad. Are we buying TP-Link routers from China here in the United States? Highly unlikely. Most likely, we're getting them from the Irvine location, which has locally sourced chips and all that kind of stuff, or wherever they make them. But it's not with the firmware that's coming from the Chinese side and the Chinese path from their TP-Link stuff. So you can check. We can actually go into the firmware. If you have any questions, if you have a TP-Link router, I would be happy to help you out and make sure that you have an American style. We can check with the firmware versions. Also, though, I'm kind of ask you, why do you have a TP-Link router? TP-Link is it's kind of like one of those things when you use something all the time. If you need a water bottle all day, every day, and you're using it at work, it's a big important thing. Are you going to use the plastic one that you got at that trade show that kind of is flimsy and the lid doesn't seal and stuff? And you're going to use it every day? You're not. You're probably going to go, hey, I need a water bottle, and you might spend a little bit extra money to get something nice, like maybe like a $20 water bottle or something that has a graphic on it you like, something. You're going to do that for something you need to use every single day, which is why I ask when people have it like a TP-Link router or one of these offshoot random branded routers, why? You're doing everything through the internet on your computer, through your phone, through your video game system, through your streaming services, whatever you have at home, let alone what you're doing at your business, and you're running everything through this TP-Link router, which is not the greatest. They make some good flash drives here, they make some other stuff, but routers, go with a router company. So that would be my first question. Why do you have a TP-Link router? Did you just buy it because it was inexpensive? But now everything is being used through that. I have slow internet. My streaming service takes a while. Every time I switch from video to video, it takes a moment. My phone takes a while when I'm doing downloads, or my games load slowly. Could be your router. So if you have a TP-Link, this is just one of those reasons, one of the tech wizards out in the world, they're throwing it out in the ether there saying, hey, let's see about that TP-Link and maybe get you something else. And most likely your experience online will become better for it. So not saying any of the ones that we have here in the United States are affected, but it's a good thing to check and go, hey, why do I have this? Maybe 5 years ago when things were a lot less thick and the packets were kind of smaller a little bit, there was less data, we had less Internet of Things devices, less things we're connecting to, then yeah, TP-Link probably fine, no problem. But I would want to get something that has a little bit more oomph behind the processor, and TP-Link's not the way to go. So if you have one, think about getting rid of it, and this is just another reason to do it, that whole thing out in China. So the other thing I want to talk about, an Android spy app that is now being shown up on a lot of Android phones. It is a piece of malware. If you have an Android phone, there is something called Lian Spy, which is the latest mobile spyware to be discovered that targets Android smartphones, recording user activity, screens, and accessing call logs and more. It's kind of creepy. It actually was discovered back in March 2024 and has evidently been around for almost 3 years. But evidently, lately, it's gotten a little pesky and started really showing its head and really starting to push towards people. It's basically... its disguise is going towards banking details, but doesn't want necessarily users' banking details. What it does is it monitors user activity while you're using your Android device. It intercepts call logs, sending installed applications to its own servers, and it records your screen. Freaky. So Google knows about it. Actually, if you have an Android phone and your system has automatically been signed out, and you're not really sure why, it could be because you have a virus on your phone, or you have one of these pieces of malware, and it has caused you to do that. It's one of the side effects at Google. When they see it, they actually log you out to protect you. And I actually don't think that's too bad of a thing, because if I saw that I was logged out, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of weird. Why am I logged out? I'm never logged out on my phone. Try to log back in again. It gives you a notice. Hey, this is what's going on. Fix it. And you go, oh. Okay, I'll fix that. So a lot of different ways that it could come. It basically, this piece of malware allows itself to replace or modify the device's operating system and install any apps, including specialized apps or apps not typically available on Android devices. It basically will hide itself in the user's home screen and then manages to stealthily operate in the background using root privileges. But the root privileges are the things that give you the highest level. We've talked about that before in the show if you've listened, when we talk about Android phones versus iPhones, how iPhones are compartmentalized. Each is its own little prison. So the settings is in a prison, and then the next application's in a prison. If you wanted to go from application to application, like if you took over the main prison of settings and then wanted to take over all the applications on your iPhone, there's like pits of lava in between. You can't get from one application to the next. They're in their own individual things. Unlike Android, where you can take something called root access control. Root access control will actually make you God on the phone and have super control over anything and everything going in and out of the phone. Call logs, microphone, camera, any application, any password, anything that's coming in and out, it can watch. Root access control means it can watch the keyboard, it can watch what's going on, it can watch the packets coming in and out. Scary stuff. I think Android phones are awesome. I use Android phones when I'm on the job site. There's a lot of applications I can use with them. Do I use it personally? No, I have an iPhone. I like to also see, I look at a lot of risky stuff you guys send me. So I like to use my iPhone because it's a little bit easier to look through and I can get into less trouble with it. Basically not getting some virus loaded on my phone when you actually could have that happen with an Android phone. So there's a lot of malicious apps out there on the Android store. That seems like most of them are coming from like mini game ads and data harvesting. There's click frauds, Minecraft clones. Evidently, it's a big problem on Android. 35 million downloads found in 38 Minecraft clones. So almost 1 million per each one of the clones or apps designed to look like Minecraft, but does not actually have that. It has hidden ads and stuff like that. Scam apps or cash rewards, background adware, Chinese spyware, and then there's these subscription trojans that are found like in the GIF Camera Editor Pros, Photo Effect, things when you want to like do a negative on a photo real quick. You download one of these apps, the app is totally malicious, put spyware, adware on your phone, and all of a sudden you're getting weird things. What is it like? What's the sign that says, hey, your Android phone is infected? Like I said, if Google signed you out, that's a big one. Also, if you notice suspicious signs in your device, like pop-up ads that you can't get rid of, that would be indicative of something running in the background that you don't want. Or alerts about a virus or an infected device. Antivirus software you no longer use no longer works or functions. A significant decrease in your device's operating speed, like the phone is just really, really, really slow, or storage space. All of a sudden, you have a bunch of storage space eaten up. Why? Where'd that come from? Most likely a piece of malware. Or if it just stops working properly. I don't understand. There's so many pieces of malware that kill machines, and you go, well, is that your purpose? Or you're designed to because you're running on a device. So if you're running on a device, why would you want to kill yourself on that device? And, I would think self-propagation would be the next thing. You'd want to be able to send yourself out and infect more machines rather than get on a machine and just kill it. Because then what are you doing besides just causing the person agony, unless that's the point? I'm not really sure. I thought it was to get data and stuff. So, but you also might see that like your contacts on your phone have received crazy emails or messages or social media messages from you, but you didn't send those messages. That's also another thing saying that your phone could be compromised. So if you have an Android phone, highly recommend jumping on getting Malwarebytes, AVG, Avast. There's some other ones that are good. ESET is also a good one. Anything. Download a legitimate antivirus piece of software, run it, see what you find. See if you find anything. It could be something on your phone. There could not be, but at least now you've checked. Malwarebytes is also on the other side. Is really good if you have an antivirus like Avira or AVG or ESET or something like that, or Bitdefender. That'll take care of the virus side, and then if you run Malwarebytes, that'll take care of the malware side, just like a computer, and that'll really get you that clean bill of health, as well as maybe if you had like a junk or temporary file cleaner that would clean out any of this stuff, because sometimes things live in there that then get released later. So an idea, but that also is something to watch out for, and just something I don't have to deal with if I have an iPhone. And granted, I'm in the Apple architecture, which is, which head of the devil you're going with, right? You're going to Android on Google, or you're going to iPhone with Apple, and you're like, I want to go with either one of them, man. I want my flip phone back. But talk about that later. Okay, so this is very lightly on computers. I just want to talk about for a minute. So Disney, that whole thing with the guy. Disney this guy goes to his restaurant. Inside the restaurant, his wife literally dies. I'm sorry, I wasn't laughing about that. I'm sorry. This is tragic. His wife has an allergy, goes to a restaurant, is assured that the food doesn't have any allergies in it, that she has. It does. She dies in this restaurant. The guy sues Disney for like not much, like 50 grand or something, just to cover like funeral costs and like just standard stuff. And Disney says, no, because you signed up for Disney Plus 4 years ago and didn't even get the service, just a 30-day free trial. Did the 30-day free trial. Therefore, in the terms of service for that, Disney says that we are free of any arbitration for anything ever in the future, for anything that you ever have ever. So this guy's like, I can't sue Disney for the wrongful death because I had a 30-day trial. I didn't even get the service, just the trial. So Disney's now reversed course as of this morning, I guess. And they said they were arguing court documents. The streaming service contact me and says you cannot sue. But then they said basically that it's waiving its right to arbitration. And they said at Disney we strive to put humanity above all considerations. Blah 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 blah. So they've gone back on it because there was like worldwide backlash. You're like, guys, 50 grand to Disney, right? Come on. Okay, anyway, so another thing I read about what, let's see, this is more just current events. I think we've gotten kind of out of the scams here. The other scam I would say, there's two that I feel are scammy. That might not be necessarily scams, but I feel they're a little scammy. First thing, Google is pulling the plug on uBlock Origin, leaving over 30 million Chrome users susceptible to intrusive ads. At this point, getadblock.com still works 95% of the way on Google Chrome. If you need to block YouTube using a browser and you like uBlock Origin, go to Firefox. It's the easiest way. Firefox, uBlock Origin, that's still functioning. Still works, still blocking YouTube as of this morning. This afternoon, not sure, but this morning it was still working. But this new version of uBlock Origin, that's going to be Manifest v3 compliant, uBlock Origin Lite. It has the stuff of the original version, but it is, I don't know, it's Adblock is important. I understand. Adblock has become something more than just blocking malicious ads or even blocking ads in general. Adblock blocks redirectors. It blocks pop-ups. It blocks all these things that cause you to hate the internet, man. It's so important to have an adblock on your browser. And they're a little intrusive. Sometimes you go to news sites and they need to disable it or, do this or do that. And that's because those journalists make the money off of the website, which makes the money off of the ads. So I understand, but at the same time, Google is going with their whole Manifest v3, which is their idea of how Chrome is supposed to function. And within that, they're removing uBlock Origin, which is the most popular anti-block or content blocking, ad blocking program. So getadblock.com, still functional. It's a little bit under the radar, but it's still working really well. And but Google's done it. They've as of this morning, I guess the uBlock Origin is having a real problem, and they're pushing this Manifest v3. It's still not out yet, I don't believe, but it's in fact, is there a date on here about Manifest v3? I don't think so. I don't know if there's a date actually comes out. I'll find that out, let you guys know. But I haven't seen it yet personally. And my antivirus or my blocker is still blocking, so we'll keep with it. Getadblock.com is still working. The other little scammy thing that I want to talk about that's not really a scam, but kind of is a scam because I think it's scammy. Microsoft, on the other side of the pond here, just of the digital pond, not the actual pond. Microsoft is patching the TPM 2.0 bypass that to prevent Windows 11 installs on PCs with unsupported CPUs. What the heck does all that mean? So there's this thing, TPM, the Trusted Platform Module. Windows 11 is all about it, man. They have their t-shirts on saying, I am a TPM operating system and you better have a TPM rated processor and your computer better have the TPM chip in it. TPM, Trusted Platform Module. And you're like, I'm so tired of hearing about this TPM. And it's a good thing. It's kind of like a file vault thing. It's kind of like where, you have data on a machine, someone steals your hard drive, it's encrypted, that kind of stuff. And it's also to encrypt some of the things that actually happens in the Windows 11 environment. And with that, it's also, I think, a way for Microsoft to work with some of the processors to go, hey, there are people who have been on these machines for like 10 or 15 years. We want that money again. We want them to sell new machines. Let's come out with TPM that will actually make it so all these old machines can't do it, can't load Windows 11, and then we're going to cut Windows 10 off in, I don't know, October of next year. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. Microsoft, don't be Apple, man. Don't come out with a new operating system and then say the last 3 are no good, and you know exactly when this brand new machine I bought yesterday is going to go, and it's only going to last for the next 4 or 5 years because you've already planned it out. It's wrong. So this is a patch that takes off a feature that someone else figured out on where you could get Windows 11 installed on a machine that does not run the Trusted Platform Module. So theoretically, yes, I guess you would be more susceptible to certain types of attacks, like very specific types of attacks. But at the same time, right now, it's also saving you some money to be able to get Windows 11 on a machine that maybe wouldn't take Windows 11. So I guess it said if you have an officially unsupported PC, so officially unsupported, you before could install Windows 11 with this hack. Now you can't. So the bypass says that it's well, as of a couple days ago, it was still working, but they're saying it's coming out. This TPM 2.0 protocol is just not being available for older systems. Now, granted, you could even get an add-on module, but the Windows 11 CPU compatibility begins from the 8th gen and Intel and the Ryzen 2nd gen CPUs, and then installing a TPM chip, like a little Bluetooth or a little USB plug-in guy that actually has its old TPM thing on that chip. It just wasn't possible for notebooks. And then for the CPUs, those are totally obsolete. So they're saying, oh yeah, you can do it as long as you go back this far. And then but no one wants to go back that far because those are garbage. So, because we're on like the 13, 14, 15, 16th generation of Intel right now. And I think on like the 9th of the Ryzen, the 8th of the Ryzen, something like that, generation 8, generation 9, I think. I'd have to look it up. I'm not really sure. But it just kind of sucks. Like, this is just another thing. Like, when you're a student or you don't have a lot of money, you've got a machine, you're writing emails, you're doing your life, you're just kicking along, and your machine functions. And all of a sudden, some software comes along and knocks it out because the operating system's not going to be any good, because you don't have the hardware inside, because you didn't buy a new enough machine, because your old machine still works. That's a bunch of garbage. It's a bunch of garbage. I mean, yes, security. Yes, make sure everything is okay online. Yes, I want to make sure I can do my banking online. There's ways to do that without TPM. And there's ways that you can do it so that people who don't have a lot of money don't have to go out and buy a brand new machine, because you're killing an operating system that functions. So I get there's other things in the background and stuff, but this kind of makes me mad, man. I don't like when you just kill hardware that functions for no good reason. Anyway, so getting heated. Okay, so moving on from that. Also, this just kind of, so we're kind of out of the scams. Now we're gonna get out of the scams. Of course, if you have a question, comment, concern, you'd like to call in, love to hear from you at 831-900-5773. That's 831-900-KSQD. Of course, on air at KSQD is also open if you want to shoot over an email, or if you just want to hear me rant for the next 45 minutes or 40 minutes. You got that. You got it. We'll be doing it. So moving a little bit out of the out of like the scammy world. I saw this article and I wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit. The FTC is banning fake online reviews, inflated social media influences, and this rule that takes effect in October. Like, wait a minute, I'm sorry. The Federal Trade Commission is going to ban fake online reviews. So I remember a couple years ago, I got contacted by a couple companies that said, hey, we'll send you some Amazon stuff, and we want you to write a review about it, and then you buy the item, you write the review about it, and then as soon as the review is posted, we'll send you your money back and you get the item for free. Okay, I did that a couple times with some weird stuff, and it worked. It was fine. I got some stuff, more stuff, great, more stuff. But then there's also companies that say like, hey, if you write the review first, then we'll send you the option. We'll send you the item after you write the review, but you have to write the review first, and then we'll get you the item for free. And you go, well, that sounds kind of shady. Isn't that shady? It's kind of shady. And so, I mean, they said that there was a hearing during the House Appropriations Subcommittee on Financial Services and General Government back on May 15th, and they said on Wednesday they voted this to unanimously ban marketers from using fake reviews such as those generated with AI technology and other misleading practices to promote their products and services. How in the world are they going to do fake reviews? Not only waste people's time and money, but also pollute the marketplace and divert business away from honest competitors. Sure. How in the world are you going to do that? You can't find out if I mean, like, granted, just by reading some of the stuff, you go, okay, this is terribly written. I guess it's AI, maybe. But at the same time, there's also really no way to do that. So Amazon said it sued more than 10,000 Facebook group administrators in July 2022 for allegedly brokering fake reviews. Okay. Yelp's policies have long prohibited practices outlined in the FTC's final rule, and Yelp believes that the enforcement of the new rule will improve the review landscape for consumers and help level playing field for businesses. I mean, Yelp, $1 billion bully, everybody. Watch it. $1 billion bully. Yelp is just, all respect to boomers out there, but Yelp is basically well, actually, no. So I'm sorry. Yelp is for us right now, and the Better Business Bureau is basically Yelp for boomers, because you can just go to the Better Business Bureau and buy your 5-star rating. With Yelp, kind of the same thing. As a business, I was offered a number of things, and I through Yelp, through whatever we were listening to, wherever we were doing, and when I decided to not advertise with Yelp, my page was removed for like a week, and then when I came back, I had like a negative review of somebody who said I took their computer and they were waiting in my lobby for like 30 minutes or something, and you go like, This is at my old shop where we didn't have a lobby. It was just one room. And so like, I'm like, someone was standing like in the front of my shop, like 4 feet away from me for 30 minutes. And I didn't say anything to them. Like, stuff like that. And you go, okay. So I didn't have anything to do with Yelp for a long time, and I still don't advertise with them. And that kind of stuff can happen. So Yelp is just awful. $1 billion bully. Check it out. Yeah, inflated social media influences and stuff. It takes effect in October. I have no clue how in the world they're going to do that. Sounds great on paper. Yeah, ban all these fake reviews. Okay, find them. Find them all. How are you going to do that? I have no idea. No idea. So I don't know if they're just going to cancel everybody's account and everyone has to re-sign up with new accounts or something, which wouldn't happen. I don't know. Another one I saw, another article real quick, just moving along down the road here. All my piles of articles. Evidently, 90% of workers use their company-provided laptops for personal activities. And this is a slight, if not gigantic, cybersecurity risk. So I guess ESET did a study, and they highlighted a substantial portion of employees who also engage in risky activities using their business hardware, including viewing adult content, gambling, accessing the dark web, and streaming sports illegally, like through VPNs and stuff. I just have to say, that's crazy. If I was given a work laptop, and you're sitting there going on adult sites with it, or you're sitting there streaming sports game. I mean, it's a work laptop. Everyone knows if you have a work laptop, IT can look if they need to. It's going through work stuff. That's usually how it works because it's a work laptop. It says, we often hear employees are the weakest security link, and endpoint security may not be the first thought on people's minds, which is obviously very true. Now, if you get started with a new business, anyone out there who's getting started with any new business, per insurance rules, IT has to send you a phishing email. And the phishing email will be something saying, blah, 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 blah. Click on this link to get a special deal from the CEO or something like that. And you click on the link. And of course, then it takes you to the sign up for training because you're not supposed to click on the link because it's a phishing email. So yeah, I don't have anything to say to this. If you have a business machine and you are doing things like gambling or online adult things on your business, on your work laptop, dude, it's just asking for. I don't even need to read the article. You guys can fill in the blanks. So don't do that. 90% of people do, I guess. Okay. Last one I brought in, artificial intelligence is losing hype. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know, in the beginning, about a year ago, when like there were new businesses literally every single day with new venture capital behind them doing this AI stuff. And I don't know if it says here that the Silicon Valley tech bros are having a difficult few weeks. Growing number of investors worry that artificial intelligence will not deliver the vast profits they seek, because a lot of people just jumped in on this and thought they were going to make a bunch of money. But a lot of that stuff, granted it works, there's a lot of it, artificial intelligence stuff that works, but there's a lot of things that like these companies made that have been proven later on down the road that didn't work, that they were fooling. And I've used the Amazon grocery store as an example. Like when you would go into that Amazon grocery store where you walk in, there's no people that like check you out or anything like that. Supposedly it was done by some algorithm that's watching what you take and da-da-da-da, when actually it was found out that they were going to be implementing that later, and instead hired like 3,000 people to watch all the security cameras. You get assigned like 3 to 5 people per person, and when you walk in, you pick up things and put them in your cart, and the person's watching your cart, and they go, okay, and then they add those things to your list, and then for some reason you get your receipt like 6 to 8 hours later. That's because it took that long for those people to go through and actually charge your account for those things. And then Amazon was going to get AI started up later, but it just didn't happen because that didn't really work and they didn't want to do it, and so they walked away from it. But there's a lot of people that were like, hey, this is the next best thing. I've got an idea, venture capitalists, give me some money. And they're like, sure, I want to be rich too. And that sounds like a lot of things aren't really coming up. Since peaking last month, with the share prices of Western firms driving the AI revolution, they've dropped by 15%. A growing number of observers now question the limitations of the large language models, which power services such as ChatGPT. Big tech firms have also spent tens of billions of dollars on AI models, with even more extravagant promises on future outlays. Yet, according to the latest data from the Census Bureau, only 4.8% of American companies use AI to produce goods and services, down from a high of 5.4% early this year. Well, I can tell you for one thing, if you have to talk to customer service and you have to use one of those AI prompts, they're bad. And before, people were pissed off about not getting to a human. Now you have to like fight to get through the AI thing to get to a customer service person, and you're still not talking to someone, you're doing some chat or something. So a lot of people don't like that even. So it's an interesting time, and we're going to see where it goes. Well, first half of the Computer Man Show here on KSQD Santa Cruz, K-Squid 90.7 FM and online at ksqd.org has come to an end. We're going to come to the second half here after a couple amazing underwriters coming up. They help KSQD be what they are, and we love them for it. So stick around just for a short break, and then we're going to be back with some questions and more complaining about all sorts of things tech, as well as email questions and your calls at 831-900-5773. Again, this is the Computer Man Show on KSQD Santa Cruz, K-Squid 90.7 FM and online at ksqd.org. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. KSQD thanks the 23rd Annual West End Celebration for supporting this program. West End performers include Joe Craven, the Transducers, the John Broadway Tucker Review, and many more. August 24th and 25th in Sand City. K-Squid will have a tent and host the Redwood stage both days. Arts, crafts, food, beer, and wine available. Thank you, West End Celebration, for supporting community radio. K-Squid, 90.7, 89.7, and 89.5 FM. My name is Luigi Opido, owner-operator of Pleasure Point Computers and the host of the Computer Man Show, a 1-hour call-in show Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Viruses, slowdowns, scams, and updates. Computers can be a pain, and I'll help you through it.
Send me an email with your request. If it's hardware you want, baby, I'm the best.
If it has an on switch, we'll probably talk about it on the Computer Man Show Tuesdays at 6 p.m. only on KSQD 90.7 FM Santa Cruz.
Get into a computer.
Hi, I'm Bobby Bishop, host of Be in the Night, bringing you the best I can with jazz, love songs, and soul. Join me on Tuesday evenings from 7 to 10 p.m., playing the classics straight ahead and introducing you to the latest artists and composers. That's Tuesday nights from 7 to 10 p.m. right here on listener-supported KSQD 90.7 FM, Santa Cruz.
Yes, nothing better than jazz to wipe all this computer nonsense out. There's a lot of computer nonsense, man. We're always thinking about computers and passwords and blah, blah, blah. No, jazz. Listen to it. 7 o'clock, Bobby B, Be in the Night coming up. Love to hear it, and you will too. Let all this computer nonsense ooze away. I know I do. So stick around. All you got to do is let it happen to you. Stick around and stick around. Let's do it. Bobby B with Be in the Night coming up at 7 o'clock. All right, let's get back to the Computer Man Show here on KSQD Santa Cruz, K-Squid 90.7 FM and online at ksqd.org. Of course, if you're curious about any of the security stuff and you want to learn a little bit more about what the madness is going on out there, hit up cyber101.com. It's a really cool resource I found. These two guys that do, one guy does video production, one guy does online stuff, and they came together to create these videos to teach people about things like multi-factor authentication or device security or data security, malware, ransomware, privacy, all that kind of stuff. Most of the stuff that we talk about and complain about here on the show. But it's a great resource, especially if you have somebody that might be a little tech savvy but just knows just enough to get themselves in trouble. Cyber 101, it's got a little schooling system. You can learn about the things you're interested in, not about the stuff you're not. And works well. So cyber101.com, check it out. And there's some cool stuff on it. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. We're going to do that. Error codes. Let's see if we got anything else in the current events. Oh, we went through a lot of them. Oh, the iPhone 16 specs have been released. Just want to talk about this real quick because I'm kind of probably looking for an iPhone 16. I've got a 12 Pro Max, and it's starting to do little weird things. It's starting to kind of like the screen kind of goes black every once in a while. It kind of hangs sometimes. I have to restart it a little bit more often than I used to, which might be my software, but at the same time, this phone still has a little bit of value, so I might trade it in and get one of the 16s. And I'm looking at the 16s now, and there's going to be 4 different models coming out for iPhones. We'll go over this just real quick for people who are interested. So there's going to be the iPhone 16, there's going to be the iPhone 16 Plus, there's the iPhone 16 Pro, and then there's the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Okay, so it's basically going to go like the iPhone 16 and the iPhone 16 Pros are a little bit the shorter ones, the smaller ones. A 16 and the 16 Pro have 6.1 inch and 6.3 inch display. The Pro has a higher refresh rate on the screen, while the 16 is aluminum, the 16 Pro is titanium. One has the 18 chip, one has the 18 Pro chip. They're all doing Apple Intelligence, all of these. But like the camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide opposed to a 48 megapixel ultra wide on the Pro. 5-time optical zoom, and it looks like basically the 16 Pro gets the same camera setup as the Pro Max does. So if you're going to the 16 or the 16 Plus, you're getting the same camera set, same chipset, same aluminum design, same screen. The Plus literally just has a little bit bigger screen on it, 6.7 opposed to a 6.1 inch. And then also you get a little bit larger battery, 4,000 milliamp hour opposed to 3,500 milliamp hour. It's $100 more for a little bit larger display, but again, it's a bigger phone, so that's your kind of like your choice. But then if you want to go over to the Pro or the Pro Max, you're going to go, the Plus has a 6.7 inch display. The Pro Max is a 6.9 inch display. Again, the Pro and the Pro Max both have the 120 hertz refresh rates, titanium design, the 18 Pro chip, opposed to the just A18 chip on the other one. Everything, again, has Apple Intelligence. The Pro and the Pro Max are both running 48 megapixel ultra-wide cameras with a 5-time optical zoom. Wow, that's awesome. That, I believe, is a step up from the old camera that was on the 14s that went and stepped over into the 15s. Wi-Fi 7 on the Pro and the Pro Max opposed to the Wi-Fi 6E on the Plus and the 16. Also, larger batteries. The battery for the 16 and the 16 Pro are actually pretty comparable. There's the Plus and the Pro Max, again, have the Plus is a 4,000 milliamp hour. The other one is a 4,600 milliamp hour. So, and it's about, from the Plus to the Pro Max, looks like it's 8, 9, 10, about $300 extra for all the features and stuff. I have the 12 Pro Max, which is the highest level of the 12. And I mean, my camera is still phenomenal. I take incredible photos of my daughter and my dog. And I used to take awesome photos of my cat and everything, all that stuff. So on the beach and everything. So I'm still real happy with the camera, and I would keep the phone if it wasn't failing me and I didn't need to use it so much for work. So if you're curious about this, I have a little infographic that was sent to me about the different iPhones. Curious about the specs, I'm happy to email any of you, Luigi, Luigi at ksqd.org, and I'll send it over to you. And just, again, Intel is still having a problem with their 13th and 14th gen CPUs. No fix in place besides a patch that's coming out or was coming out or is supposed to come out. I don't even know if it came out yet. Haven't heard a thing, but Intel's not fixing anything. So, we got a caller calling in. Let's see what's going on in the real world. Hello, you're on with the Computer Man. How can I help you?
Hey, Luigi. It's Jacqueline Levin.
Jacqueline! One of my favorite humans on this planet. Hello. How are you? If you do not know Jacqueline Levin, she is amazing. Amazing. One of the incredible lights here in Santa Cruz, back and forth when you're in town.
I feel likewise about you and your awesome service.
Too kind. What's going on?
I came in the kind of the tail end of you're talking about malware bytes for an Android.
Yes.
So I have just like the very, very free, low version of it.
Okay.
Okay, and I think it's just for text protection or something.
Okay.
So, of course, I went in and I was looking around and it says, okay, you can upgrade, for $20 a year. And I know you've always said protection should always be free.
Yes, most of the time, yes. Yeah.
But so I just want to, it says I can get the standard protection, which is the malware cleaner, real-time protection, and safe browsing for $20 a year.
Okay. Is that after malware bytes?
Yeah,
okay.
It is malware bytes.
Okay.
And so the other one is the Plus for $25 and more a year, and it's the same top 3 coverage. And then the last one has this like location icon, and it says trustworthy VPN.
Okay. You don't need any of that.
Sounds weird.
Yeah, you don't need any of it. They're all services that they're wanting you to sell. If you were going overseas and you need to use a VPN to do something back here at home, a virtual private network, that tunnel back to home, then we might look into something like that. But Malwarebytes, you're paying for the scheduler. You're paying for it to run in the background. You're paying for the monitoring of you not running the program. I have always been someone where I run the software. I'm like, my phone's really slow today. Why is it slow? Let me scan it real quick. And so that's the free version. So you're still getting the power of having Malwarebytes, and but you have to push the button rather than them monitoring in the background and going, whoops, something come on, I'm gonna get it for you. And they still have to scan though. So like the real-time protection, as far as I know with Malwarebytes, I don't think that they do a live time like watching what comes in and out. I think it just does a scan like once a day, and if it finds something, it removes it. And then you get that browser thing, which is some like Malwarebytes thing where it actually is a browser that you load. And when you use that browser, it's going through their VPN sets so that if you go to a bad website, it will be blocked. But it's, $20 a year, that's hardly anything. But at the same time, you can also there are free versions. You can download DuckDuckGo and get exactly the same thing.
DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, it's it's another browser that's really good. They don't do any ad tracking, and it's solid, but it's free. And so there's just another thing is free.
And then I can have that with the basic malware I have too.
Yes, and you can even keep all your other browsers too. You can have DuckDuckGo as well as Safari if you wanted to, or even Opera or Edge or Chrome or Firefox, or you can have them all loaded on your phone if you wanted to, and just use the ones that you want for certain things if that's the route you wanted to go to. But yes, Malwarebytes will still work. You can get the free version is great. The paid version, get a couple extra things. I don't think you might use them, but for the $20 a year just to have something scan automatically, that's not bad.
But it's not really necessary. I mean,
Not
I don't
really.
go on these crazy websites and all that crap anyway.
Yeah.
So, okay. I just wanted a little peace of mind.
Yeah. What I would do is I would download the free version of Malwarebytes, run the scan on your phone. If it comes back with
That's
nothing,
what I do.
then
Okay.
if it comes back with nothing, you're doing great. If it comes back with a whole bunch of stuff, you're going, oh boy, I might need to maybe get that $20 thing just because I'm obviously getting into trouble. But you're not, so I think you're fine.
Because I'll click on it like, I don't know, once in a couple of weeks, and it'll say, oh, your coverage is excellent. It's fine. You're 99 whatever. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
So I'm good. All right.
Yeah. And,
Cool.
and that little dial actually is pretty good. So, and every once in a while you're like, I haven't run that scan for a while, run the scan, and it goes pretty quick on your phone, and then you're good for a month.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Yay.
Are you in Santa Cruz currently, or are you are out and around?
Oh, I am.
Awesome.
I am in Santa Cruz County. Yep.
Awesome. If you are around, I would
Great
love
luck.
to see if you want to come by and say what's up sometime at our shop.
And you're still right there at your new, not so new place.
New, not so new place. Yes, off SoCal, 1824 SoCal
Okay.
Avenue between Morrissey Boulevard and Capitola Road.
Well, I will pop in there and see you soon.
That would be awesome. We'd love to see you.
Thank
All right.
you, Luigi.
You're welcome, Jacqueline. Thank you so
care.
much for the call. Made my night. Hope you have a great evening.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. Mhm.
And that leaves the phone lines open for you here at 831-900-5773. No phone call too awesome. Actually, every phone call is awesome. No phone call would be as amazing as yours. So let's give a call. The 100% awesome callers coming in all the time here at KSQD and KSQD.org. Amazing questions, and I would love to hear from you. So give us a call here, 831-900-5773. Now let me dig through my pile here and find my email questions. We've got a lot of emails coming in through all the time, and you too can email me, Luigi, Luigi, at KSQD.org. I'd love to hear from you. And let's see what we've got out in the real world. Oh, I've got a shout out first. Got to give a big shout out to Penelope. Penelope, I love you. You're listening out there. You're super cool. Doing great. Going down the slide for the first time just recently. Yes. Penelope, I love you. Keep listening. All right. So my internet keeps randomly disconnecting and reconnecting every few minutes. Well, it's not my computer disconnects from the network. It's just that while it's connected, the internet doesn't work. Okay. I've restarted my PC and router in multiple ways and times. I've uninstalled and reinstalled and updated my many drivers related to the Wi-Fi and my graphics, yet no luck. Every time I reset my PC, it's fine for maybe 7 minutes, and then the internet hiccups over and over, and my internet seems fine on my phone, though. Like, oh, okay. So if that's interesting, say, 7 minutes, the internet hiccups over and over again, but the internet is fine on your phone. So I'm curious first if you are wired, if it's a wired internet, or if you're also on Wi-Fi, because Wi-Fi might be doing something weird or might be fine, but the wired internet might be weird. Have you tried making a hotspot on your phone and then connecting your computer to the hotspot and seeing if your computer runs okay? If we can get another internet connection into your computer and you see it's sluggish and slow and does exactly the same things, then we know it's not your internet connection, it's something in your computer. But if you get on another network and it's flying and it's doing everything it's supposed to do, then we can start attacking the router or start attacking, whatever that problem is at that point. If it's, if it's your router, the problem's going to reoccur if you see it with with that same device or whatever. So also I want to make sure that the USB stuff is all working properly. If you have a Wi-Fi USB card, there's little information that we're missing here, but just to talk about all sorts of things. If you have a spare USB Wi-Fi card, plug it in. Connect to the network with that, see if you get good internet, see if all of a sudden everything's working really well. That would also tell me that the card is bad, or the card is having a problem or it has a bad driver. If you get another way into the computer and the computer's livened up and using it's great and everything's fine, then you can more solidify it down to what the problem actually is, right? So if you get on Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi is super slow, you can put another card and Wi-Fi is great, most likely your Wi-Fi card. But there's It'd be interesting also to see if you had any type of I would do this at the same time. If we're still having fine issues, if everything looks fine inside the shop, or if it's really just bogging down, I would try loading maybe even another operating system with the same hardware and see, we have a base operating system of Windows 10. We put onto someone's computer. We take your hard drive out, put our hard drive in. It loads up all your hardware with baseline drivers with nothing loaded, and we see if things work. If they work, we know we got something in the software that's doing something weird and we can attack it. If it doesn't work, then we can go someplace else and attach onto that and, go down that path. But if you switch your operating system and you have another problem, then that's something else. But I think with the Wi-Fi, it's all just about scientific method. Change one thing, test. Change another thing, test. I would be really curious if you were to change the Wi-Fi to your phone, have that as a hotspot, and then also if that solves it, then you go towards your router. If it doesn't, then there's something still with the computer and we start changing stuff in the computer. Maybe borrow a USB Wi-Fi, check onto that, see if that does something different. If that still doesn't do something, there's something in the software of the actual operating system we can boot to a safe mode with networking and turn off everything that it's loading and then just load your networking stuff and see if you can get online, see if the speeds are still there, see if it's dropping, but 7 minutes. That's something very specific. There's either something that could be malware, that could be a malicious piece of software, that could be something that's starting up as a scheduled task after 7 minutes that's in blocking. Number of pathways to go. But those would be my basic ideas and the pathways that I would take to try to combat it. Okay, let's continue on. Panda Dome Antivirus. Panda Dome Antivirus. I remember that from a while back, from a long time ago, but I haven't used Panda Dome in a long time or even been around it. It says, hi, I've been a user of Panda Dome for a few years now. Okay, I'm having the issue where the application turns off my antivirus. Okay, and then doesn't let me turn it back on. Every time I click on it, nothing happens. All the antivirus settings seem to be grayed out, but the other options are fine. I did a few fresh reinstalls before with no fix. Any help? Okay, so if the antivirus options that are grayed out, you're most likely looking at Windows antivirus. So right now, if you go onto your bottom clock, if you're listening in right now and you go to your clock in the bottom right-hand corner of Windows, of your Windows operating system, and you click that little up arrow, most machines will have a little shield down there. That's Windows Defender. There's also Microsoft Defender, which is a paid version, but Windows Defender has an antivirus on it that's actually pretty good. And a lot of the things that are coming across now aren't actually technically registered as viruses. They're mostly malware by the way that they install. So virus scanners have become a little lighter lately just because that's just the ebb and flow of the internet and the way scams are working. So if it's grayed out, it's most likely a Microsoft option and not something that has to do with Panda. But it's because of Panda that they're grayed out because you're using a third-party antivirus on your machine. It disables the Windows antivirus to prevent a crash when there's actually a virus and both programs try to fix it, right? It's one driver per car, and your machine should have one antivirus running, one piece of malware protection running if you can, because that would then mean more things are driving and making system changes. One thing, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. Something has changed. The right hand thinks something else is there. It's not there. The computer crashes and you're pissed, right? And that could be very simple to have happen. So, so you don't want that. So Panda is taking over. The grayed out stuff is most likely Microsoft. If you want to do a scan, you should click on your Panda antivirus and initiate a scan. Or get rid of Panda, which would automatically, after a restart, put the Windows Defender back on, and then you'd be ready to go and you could do a scan with that. So, you just can't have two antivirus programs active at the same time. It causes a lot of issues. And because then they both want to be king, and you can't do that. Okay, so moving on. I think I'm hacked. Please help. We got about, about 8 minutes left. You want to give me a call in the last 8 minutes here, 831-900-5773. I'd love to hear from you. Or on air at ksqd.org. Let's see if we have any emails. No emails yet. That's okay. I think I'm hacked. Please help. I was just chilling on a call with my friend, had a Chrome open with some YouTube playing. My mouse moved, opened a new tab, and searched Gmail, and then clicked on the first link onto my Gmail account. Legit fought for control of my mouse and fully closed Chrome immediately, disconnected my Wi-Fi. Woo! Remote assistance was enabled for some reason. It's disabled now. What in the world was that, and what do I do now? I am a teenager. I barely even have anything downloaded besides some Steam games and a couple of art programs, which both of those things are highly susceptible to viruses. Let's see. I must lost my spot. Oh, I'm pretty good about not downloading sketchy stuff or clicking on weird download links. I don't know what they'd even want with my stuff. Help is appreciated. I'm kind of freaked out. Okay, so yeah, the remote access stuff, it's almost 100% of the time, because you're not some statesman, you're not someone who's super famous and in the limelight or something, you're not some Taylor Swift, that's being attacked by whatever, or a presidential candidate attacked by Iran or something. It's nothing like that. Usually it's you downloading a piece of software, and as soon as you download it that's malicious, it then lets them know, the baddies, that you're around, and then they do a remote connection or install software, or the malicious code installs that software, then lets them know that you're around, and then they get on their computers. Oh, hello, let's start our relationship of badness, right? So yeah, it says the access was gained by the person around. It says last night, a couple days ago, they tried to change my card via PayPal. Multiple charges of $100 plus on CD keys, but I have my card off at all times, and then I have 57 cents on my card, so attempted stealing for me was no good. So this is it's a rat. It's like a rat virus, which would just get on your machine and just go through and most likely infiltrate many things. Best thing you can possibly do to make sure that everything is out of there, get your files off that machine, reinstall the operating system and put it back on. That's a nuclear option. You could take it to a shop if you have a lot of specialty stuff and go through it, like we would do that, and go through and make sure all the ports are closed and stuff. And 95% of the time, we can get all this stuff off the machine. To be sure, to be 100%, we would reinstall the operating system and just not even screw with it. It's kind of best to do that. But but then also contact your bank and get a new card too. If you can, like we always talk about, as annoying as it is, add two-factor authentication to every account that offers it. Most things are getting better and better with two-factor authentication. It is annoying, but it will literally stop almost 100% of hacks. The only way it wouldn't is if someone cloned your phone number or you accidentally gave out the number to the wrong thing. So, it's just super annoying, but it protects you. So, yeah, let's do it. Okay, can I prove my phone was not in active use? Okay, I was in a car accident last week. I had right-of-way, and a woman ran a stop sign and T-boned me. Okay. I was not using my phone, but insurance is accusing me of being on my phone. Is there a way I can prove my phone was not in use? So I'm not a lawyer, but if you got T-boned and someone ran a stop sign into you, who cares if you're on your phone? Because you got T-boned, right? But okay, so let's put it all together. So, So it's on everyone else to prove that you were on the phone, to prove how you being on the phone caused someone else to run a stop sign. But okay, you might be able to get a call log from the phone provider. That kind of sounds like nonsense. I don't know why they need to prove you're on your phone, but if you were to do that, then it would show that you weren't on the phone talking at that specific time. You could also get some text logs, and et cetera, and like piece together what the phone was doing linearly at that time. Dude, get a lawyer. That's crazy. You should get proper legal counsel. That's nuts. But there's ways, I think, to get the time out of the phone. It would be because if you were on the phone, you'd either be doing something on an app, which would be sending packets out through the Wi-Fi, which is always sending packets out anyways because it's got to do a keep alive with the tower. So that might work, but mostly it would be like call logs and like text message stuff. And then after that, I think they're just grasping at straws to say you're on some app or something. I'm not really sure, but get a lawyer and they'll help you out with it. If you need anything out of your phone, get a hold of me and I'll help you out with that as well. Let's see. Okay, we've got a couple minutes left. The Windows updated while I was writing. Now my work is gone. Oh, gosh. Windows update can be so frustrating. I was in the zone yesterday. I was probably writing for an hour or more without saving manually, when Windows decided without warning to restart for an update. Woohoo! Thank you, Windows. Let's see. Now, usually this isn't really a problem for me as my Word has an autosave for every 10 minutes. Great. And it has recovered files from me in the past, but not this time. After the update, Word didn't even start back up right away. So I started Word up manually and nothing. No file recovery, nothing. So I searched, nothing. No temp file, nothing. I have the document as I had left it before I began writing. So all the work I did in that hour is gone. I know I should have saved manually. I know. But usually the autosave recovers my files for me, so I'm at a loss for what to do. One Windows 10, Microsoft Office version 16. Thank you. Okay. First of all, I would jump in your app data folder. Go into Windows Explorer. You're gonna you have to let to see system files that are hidden. So when you go up into File Explorer, you're going to go to the View tab. Under the View tab, you're going to check the box that says Hidden Items on the right-hand side. As soon as you've done that, you're going to go to the C drive. Under the C drive, you're going to go to Users. Under Users, you're going to pick your username. And under your username, you're going to see a grayed out or kind of like folded out folder called App Data. Under App Data, I think you go into App Data Local I think it's local or roaming, and then under that's going to be Microsoft. Under Microsoft's going to have Office. Under Office, it's going to have the number 16. Under 16, there's going to be some other stuff in there that has Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. In there, most likely has a temporary file where your document was when you were working on it. Maybe. It's going to be under, I just looked it up here, App Data, Roaming, Microsoft, Word. Look for the latest files there. You might get lucky, it might be there. If it's not there, you could try using software to see if you could, like Recuvia or granted, it's probably past time now, but you might be able to recover it before it gets overwritten on the disk. But again, always Control S, right? Just make it a problem. Make it something that you have to hit Control S all the time, and just keep saving. Just keep saving, right? Just keep saving. I know. We all had that one point, like, I know I should have saved and I didn't. You're like, yeah, we all have that time. So this one's yours, unfortunately. I'm sorry that happened, but maybe in App Data, you might be able to find it. Okay, let's see how much time. Should we go to another one? Or are we at the end? Oh, we got about another minute left. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to read another one here. I actually just want to take the moment real quick. Just thank everybody out there. We've been on the air for years now, and I got a lot of positive, just people come to the shop at Pleasure Point Computers, people calling me, people emailing me and stuff. So stoked to be here for you. And thank you for all the kind words and stuff. I got a couple emails today that were just really nice. So thank you for that. And out there, again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can always hit me up, Luigi, Luigi, at ksqd.org. But I think we're at the end here. So if I missed your call tonight, again, email Luigi, Luigi, at ksqd.org. Remember to tune into the Computer Man Show Tuesday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. here on 90.7 FM, K-Squid, KSQD. I'd like to thank all my listeners and my callers. Thank you, KSQD, Sandy Stone, Hell, Festing, Richard, Gibbon, David, Kibbard, John Sanders, all of Santa Cruz, Nick, Tesla, the Wasp, Mr. Gates, Stromalt, and of course, the humble Electron. Thank you again, Santa Cruz. I'm your Computer Man here on K-Squid, KSQD 90.7 FM, and online at ksqd.org. Stay tuned right here for Be in the Night. I hope you all have a positively charged evening. Until next time.